This lesson is equations of circles. We're going to write equations of circles. We'll graph circles given the equation, and we'll solve various other problems involving the equations of circles. So circles have the equation x minus h, the quantity squared, plus y minus k, the quantity squared, equals r squared. The center is at h comma k, and the radius is r. Notice in the equation r is squared, so if there's a 25 in the equation, the radius will be 5, since 5 squared is 25. Also notice that in the equation it's got a minus h and a minus k, but the center is positive h, positive k. So your center point will have the opposite values than what it has in the equation. So make sure you change the sign for h and k. So if we're given the center, or if we're given the equation of a circle, find the center and the radius. So on this one, x minus 1, the quantity squared, plus y minus y plus 3, the quantity squared, equals 9. Well, the center will be the opposite of negative 1, which is positive 1, and the opposite of 3, which is negative 3, and the radius will be the square root of 9, which is 3. Remember, 9 is r squared, so you'll square root each of those to get what r is. Take the opposite signs for h and k and square root this side to get the radius. Here's some more. X minus 2 squared plus y plus 4 squared equals 16. The center will be the opposite of negative 2, which is 2, the opposite of 4, which is negative 4, and the radius will be the square root of 16, which is 4. On the next one, the center will have the opposite of negative 3, which is positive 3, and then we have a y squared here. It looks tricky, but it's actually pretty easy. You're not subtracting or adding anything from y, so really we just have a y minus 0 squared, and that just means that the y coordinate is 0. The radius is the square root of 9, which is 3. And the next one, you just have an x squared, so just like the one above, that's really, if you think about it, x minus 0 squared. So the x coordinate is 0. K will be the opposite of 5, which is negative 5. And r squared is 4, so the radius is the square root of 4, which is 2. So anytime you just have an x squared or a y squared, that coordinate is 0. H and k get the opposite signs otherwise, and the radius is the square root of the r squared. Given the center and radius, write the equation for the circle. Well, if the center is 2 comma negative 3 and the radius is 5, use the formula x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. X minus h is 2, y minus k is negative 3, and r is 5. Now polish it up a little bit. X minus 2 squared stays the way it is. Y minus negative 3 becomes y plus 3. And 5 squared is 25. Notice in the equation, negative 2 in the equation, positive 2 in the center point, positive 3 in the equation, negative 3 in the center point, and then 5 squared is your 25. For the next one, Same thing. Center is 1, 0. Radius is 3. X minus h. H is 1. Plus y minus k. K is 0. And then r squared. R is 3. Polish this a little bit. X minus 1 squared stays the same. Y minus 0, well, that's just a y. So this becomes y squared. And 3 squared is 9. So just like in the examples before, when the center coordinate is a 0, then that variable is just the variable squared. Now for graphing circles. When you're graphing a circle, start by plotting the center point, then find the radius and make 4 points from the center. We'll go up, down, left, and right, however far the radius is, and then connect the points in a circular fashion. Don't make a square. Try to make sure that you draw round all the way around. Don't just connect the dots, but draw it curved like a circle. So for this one, x minus 1 squared plus y plus 3 squared equals 9. The center is positive 1, negative 3, and the radius is 3. So you would plot positive 1, negative 3 right here for the center. And from the center, move 3 up, 3 right, 3 down, and 3 left, and then draw your circle through those points. For this one, x minus 2 squared plus y plus 4 squared equals 16. The center will be positive 2, negative 4, and the radius is the square root of 16, which is 4. So we'll plot 2, negative 4, and then we'll go up 4, right 4, down 4, left 4, and then carefully draw the circle. Just try to make it round. Takes practice, but the more you do, the better you'll get. What you don't want to do is just connect those points and make a square like that. Make sure it's nice and round. So here, x minus 3 gives you a positive 3 for the x coordinate. I squared gives you a 0 for the y coordinate. And the square root of 9 gives you a radius of 3. So we'll plot the center point at 3, 0. And then the radius of 3 will go up 3, right 3, down 3, and left 3. And then carefully draw the circle. So there you go. How about x squared plus y plus 5 squared equals 4? Well, h will be a 0 since there's nothing added or subtracted to x. K will be negative 5. And r will be the square root of 4, which is 2. So plot the center point at 0, negative 5. Then use the radius, up 2, right 2, down 2, and left 2. And draw the circle through those points. So remember, when you're given the equation of a circle, the opposite of the numbers that are with x and y are your h and k, so change the sign, and then square root the r squared to get the radius.